गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरण मोहन जू की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जाय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोक्षर स्वामी महाराज की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्य प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ स्वामी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानुगौर्य गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शार गोस्वामी प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाय। श्री गुंडीचा मंदिर मार्जन की जाय। श्री सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जाय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र जू की जाय। श्री रथ-यात्रा महोत्सव की जाय। महोत्सव anyways whatever। श्री हरिनाम श्री चैतन्य चरितमृत की जाय। श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी पाद की जाय। सौ पार्षद श्री गौर हरि की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hari Bol, everybody. Rup Manjari Didi, Dandavat Pranams, and Nitai, of course. And Satya Mataji, Indira Mataji, Pradumna Prabhu, Mantra Murti Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and anybody else who's watching right now, please accept my pranam. I'm really sorry last night. I so badly wanted to read more about Bhaktivedānta Thakur, and also about Gadadhar Pandit. It's such an important day, but by the end of the day, I was so wiped out. Some friends came over and I was talking with them, and then I went to my computer to start, set up something, and I was so tired. I was like, I'm just going to take a little nap. Actually, no, I was like, I'm going to just chant a few more rounds, and I woke up the next morning. Yep, I didn't make it, so... Anyhow, I hope you all had a wonderful festival yesterday. We had a nice program in Godrum. I recorded the video. I haven't uploaded it yet, but I'll post it a little later. So today we will read from my Gurudev's book, Sri Jagannātha Ratha-yātrā, Chapter 6, The Cleaning of Guṇḍicā Temple. It's a very long chapter. It'll probably take this whole reading time. So we'll just get to it. All right. Okay. Okay. Chapter 6, the cleaning of Guṇḍicā Temple. One second, just making sure the audio, the mic's connected. Oops. Okay, it is. The cleaning of Guṇḍicā Temple, Guṇḍicā Mandir Marjan, is performed one day before Bhagavan Sri Jagannath's Ratha-yātrā. As a result, it becomes a suitable place for Bhagavan to take rest. Chandra, could you give me a glass of water? So as a result, it becomes a suitable place for Bhagavan to take rest. The significance of the cleansing of Guṇḍicā temple. The creator and maintainer of this universe, Bhagavan, is one without a second. He is the same God for the Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Jews, or any other religion. Oh, we were just reading about this yesterday, weren't we? He is indeed known by many names, such as Sri Ram, Sri Krishna, Sri Nrsimha, Sri Jagannātha, Allah, Jesus Christ, and Jehovah. Just as there is only one sun and only one moon for the entire world, similarly, there is only one Bhagavan, not more. Bhagavan manifests his Swarup before the devotee in accordance with the devotee's bhavs. This can be understood by citing the analogy of the moon. Between the new moon and the full moon, there seems to be 15 different moons, each with its own name. But actually, there is only one moon. In the same way, there is only one God. When he fully manifests his opulence, his Vaibhav, and his charm, his Madhurya, he is known as Vrajendra Nandan Shri Krishna. When he manifests aspects of his opulence in accordance with place, time, and recipient, he is named accordingly. There is only one Shri Krishna, but he has innumerable incarnations, and all those incarnations are non-different from him. We living entities, we jivas, are parts and parcels of Bhagavan. Bhagavan Shri Krishna states, Mamai Vangsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. That's from Bhagavad Gita 15:7. This means that the jivas are by nature eternal servants of Shri Krishna and manifestations of his marginal potency, the Tatastha Shakti. The jiva is Bhagavan's eternal servant. He can never become Bhagavan. At the same time, Bhagavan and the jiva are simultaneously different and non-different from each other. Just as the sun's rays and heat are simultaneously different and non-different from the sun, and just as fire and its potency to burn are different and non-different. So just as the sun's rays and heat are simultaneously different and non-different from the sun, fire and its potency to burn are not different and non-different. In the same way, the jiva, the living entity, is simultaneously different and non-different from Bhagavan. Sorry guys, I spaced out for a second. The jiva is capable of being controlled by Maya, whereas Bhagavan is the master of Maya. Thus, there is an eternal difference between the jiva and Bhagavan. By constitution, the jiva is a transcendental entity, a chit vastu, and Bhagavan too is a transcendental entity. Therefore, from this perspective, Bhagavan and the jiva are eternally non-different. Considering thus, we can conclude that the jiva is simultaneously different, bhed, there's difference between Bhagavan and the jiva, and non-different, abhed, from Bhagavat Tattva. Or in other words, that the jiva is Bhagavan's bhed abhed prakash, different and non-different manifestation. This philosophical conclusion, this siddhanta, is called achinta bheda bhed, inconceivable difference and non-difference. This achinta bheda bhed has been explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in depth. All jivas are, by constitution, eternal servants of Bhagavan. This is the absolute truth, whether one accepts it or not. Servitude towards Sri Krishna is alone the eternal function. It's the nitya dharma of the living entity. Forgetting this, the jiva, becoming enchanted by Maya, becomes averse to Sri Krishna and falls into the cycle of birth and death within this material world. Only for the welfare of the jivas does Bhagavan sometimes personally descend to this world to propagate pure knowledge of himself, and other times he sends his associates. Due to the presence of lust, anger, greed, attachment, intoxication, envy, etc. in the conditioned soul's heart, he cannot realize the pure transcendental swarup of Bhagavan. As long as these unwanted things, these anarthas, remain in the heart of the jiva, Bhagavan will not manifest there. In an impure heart, only material sense enjoyment related to one's personal happiness can be found, and the tendency to serve Sri Krishna is lacking. Generally, service to Sri Krishna is equated with service to ordinary people in the world. In this situation, the jivas are completely ignorant of the fact that there is unlimited bliss, there is unlimited ananda in serving Sri Krishna. This ananda is infinitely greater than the ananda obtained by serving one's husband, wife, children, and family members. There is an unfathomable ocean of prema within Krishna's transcendental abode. To awaken that prema within our hearts, we must release our anarthas and make our heart pure. Guṇḍicā Mandir Marjan symbolizes the sadhak's cleansing his heart. 1 second, just drinking some water. Let me check the comments. Hari Bol Kishore Prabhu and Surevi Didi. Pranams. Okay, so Guṇḍicā Mandir Marjan symbolizes the sadhak's cleansing his heart. Alright, to awaken that prema within our hearts, we must release our anarthas and make our heart pure. Okay, so Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's cleansing of Guṇḍicā Mandir. Before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival in Puri, only the servants of the king would clean the Guṇḍicā Mandir. But since they were solely interested in earning wages for this, they did not do their job efficiently. If devotional feelings towards Bhagavan are absent in a person's heart, then he cannot please Sri Jagannātha. Therefore, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived in Jagannath Puri, he sent a message to the king through the king's guru Kashi Mishra. Mahaprabhu said, "I request permission to personally clean Guṇḍicā Mandir and its surrounding areas, along with my associates. Your servants are not required. You only need to arrange some brooms and clay pots." Although at first the king was astonished at this request, when he heard about Mahaprabhu's inner mood from the lips of Kashi Mishra, the king became very pleased. He said to Kashi Mishra, "It is a matter of utmost joy that by personally engaging in the cleaning of Guṇḍicā Mandir, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu and his devotees will impart a valuable teaching to the inhabitants of this world. Therefore, do not hesitate to give him whatever he may need." The next day, early in the morning, devotees gathered together in great number for the purpose of cleaning Guṇḍicā Mandir. The devotees offered flower garlands and chandan to Śrīmad Mahaprabhu, but before they could offer him obeisance, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu, with utmost humility, offered pranam to all of them and smeared chandan on their forehead. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu touched Sri Nityananda Prabhu's feet. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu touched Sri Nityananda Prabhu's feet. He did not have even a trace of self-conception, any abhiman that he was Guru. He did not consider, "I am Guru, everyone should respect me. There is no need for me to respect anyone." All the devotees walking with Śrīmad Mahaprabhu were performing kirtan and touching each other's feet. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu handed each devotee a broom, and they all performed Sankirtan from Sri Jagannath Mandir to the Guṇḍicā Mandir. Upon reaching Guṇḍicā Mandir, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu began to clean the temple with a broom, sweeping everywhere, from top to bottom. The hundreds of devotees with him also began to sweep. Although Śrīmad Mahaprabhu is himself Sri Krishna, he personally cleans the temple. In order to teach everyone, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu said to his associates, "While sweeping, we should perform kirtan, chant Bhagavan's names, and remember him. Only then will Bhagavan Sri Jagannath bestow mercy upon us. If we sweep without chanting Bhagavan's names, as most people do, then all our work will be karma only, not bhakti. By that, we will certainly earn some sukriti, some spiritual merit. But we will not gain Wow, let me just reread this because this is important. If we sweep without chanting Bhagavan's names, as most people do, then all our work will be karma only, not bhakti. And by that, we will certainly earn some sukriti, some spiritual merit, but we will not gain entrance into Bhagavad Bhakti. Devotion, yeah. Upon saying this, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu himself began to chant Bhagavan's names, and all the devotees imitated him and began to perform their own various services, all the while performing kirtan of Shri Krishna's names. If, in our life, we also do kirtan of Bhagavan's names while performing every activity, then our heart also will become clean, and we will be able to enter pure Bhagavad Bhakti. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu and the devotees first gathered up all the grass, pebbles, and stones, and threw them outside. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu said, "I want to see who has collected the most grass and dust. Everyone should collect grass, stones, and dust in their cloth, and then show me. I will inspect what has been gathered. Otherwise, some people may cheat by merely pretending to sweep." Śrīmad Mahaprabhu then went to the devotees and began to look at their piles of grass, dust, and so on. He praised those who had cleaned very nicely and gathered lots of grass and dust. But he lovingly scolded those who had not done so properly. After that, Mahaprabhu instructed the good cleaners to teach those who do not know how to clean nicely. In this way, all the devotees blissfully swept the temple. In the end, everyone saw that Śrīmad Mahaprabhu himself had collected the most dust of all. Although the temple had been fully swept the first time they cleaned, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu was not satisfied. And so, on his order, everyone began to sweep the temple once more. After the second cleaning, Mahaprabhu was somewhat satisfied, but even then, fine particles of dust spots and stains remained that could not be removed with a broom. 100 people stood with 100 earthen water pots full of water, awaiting the commands to clean. When Mahaprabhu gave the order to bring water, they set the 100 water pots before him. Hundreds of people brought water from the lake. Those who could not find a place to stand at the ghat filled their water pots from wells. Hundreds of people brought hundreds of filled water pots, and hundreds of people took hundreds of empty water pots away. Everyone was filling water pots, washing the temple, and calling, "Hari, Hari!" The name of Krishna was all that can be heard. As the devotees handed pots to each other, they called, "Krishna, Krishna!" And as they asked for the pots, they called, "Krishna, Krishna!" In this way, the chanting of Krishna accompanied the performance of each and every duty. If a pot were broken, the sound of "Krishna, Krishna" was heard, and new pots were arranged immediately. See, no need to use language, just need to call out the names of Krishna. Everything can be communicated through that. In this way, all sides of Guṇḍicā Mandir were washed with water, and each and every corner was nicely cleaned and purified. After the temple had been cleaned with water, not one speck of dust remained. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu then saw that a few spots of dirt and stains remained in some places. So Mahaprabhu scrubbed the dirt with his own uttariya vastra. That's the upper cloth worn by a sannyasi. In this way, Guṇḍicā Mandir became as clean and pure as Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's heart. Hare Krishna, Anilji and Rasakeli. Hare Krishna. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu ki jai. Okay, so in this way, Guṇḍicā Mandir became as clean and pure as Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's heart. To this Guṇḍicā Mandir Marjan pastime, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu, the spiritual master of the universe, is imparting the teaching that If any fortunate soul wants to seat Krishna on the throne of his heart, he must first wash and clean the dirt from his heart. It is necessary to make the heart clean, calm, and radiant by devotional service. If there are any impediments to spiritual life, if there are any anarthas at all within the field of the heart, in the form of thorny grass, dust, rocks, and so on, then the supremely worshipable Bhagavan will not situate himself there. This indeed is the hidden meaning behind Guṇḍicā Mandir Marjan. Okay, so if we want Bhagavan to sit within the throne of our heart, we have to remove all the thorny grass, dust, rocks, and so on. And now we're going to find out what those are. What is the thorny grass? What is the dust, the rocks? The anarthas of the jivas bound by Maya. This dirt in the heart, that is, the multitude of anarthas that reside there, is nothing more than endeavors for anyabhilash, that's our desires for, our endeavors for fulfilling our ulterior desires in the form of karma, gyan, and yoga. Srila Rupa Gosvāmī Pad has thus stated, Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. That's from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the very beginning of the book, 11th verse. This verse conveys that when bhakti, the innate tendency of the soul, is devoid of all types of desires other than bhakti, is devoid of any kind of anyabhilash, and it is not covered by jnana, karma, yoga, tapa, etc., and any moods unfavorable to bhakti, it is known as uttama bhakti or shuddha bhakti. Without that bhakti, which is imbued with pure goodness, with shuddha sattva, Sri Krishna will not appear in one's heart. Okay, so now my Gurudev is going to break down the different anyabhilash, karma cheshta, gyan, all these things. So let's begin. Anyabhilash. Anyabhilash means, as long as I stay in this world, I will only absorb my senses in sense enjoyment. The thorny grass of such absorption repeatedly pierces the soft, natural inclination toward Kevala Bhakti, exclusive devotion, that exists in the heart of the jiva in his pure state. Karma cheshta. Karma cheshta means, by making offerings of sacrifice, yagya, bestowing charity, dan, performing austerity, tapasya, and so on, I will enjoy the pleasures of the higher planets, such as Swarga, as well as the pleasures of this world. If I do a bit of exercise every day, I'll be strong and fit and I can enjoy more. That's also one kind of tapasya, isn't it? Forcing yourself to or giving in charity with wanting something back. That's not. So, okay, all these karma cheshtas, such desire-filled endeavors, are compared to dust. The whirlwinds of pious action of karma and the dust of desire, vasana. So this karma and vasana cover the clean and pure mirror of the heart. Wait a second. The whirlwinds of pious action and the dust of desire. Okay. This covers it, so it's like the whirlwind moves the dust in the air and covers the mirror of the heart. Okay. The unlimited dust particles of the tendency to perform pious and impious action soil the heart of the jiva, birth after birth. Therefore, the jivas cannot completely eliminate the desire to perform karma. Living entities averse to Hari think that only by the performance of karma can the fruit of karma be removed. But this conception is utterly faulty. It is due to this erroneous reasoning that the jivas are deprived of their constitutional form and nature, their swarup. Just as fire can never be put out by ghee, the desire for fruitive activities cannot be removed by fruitive activities. So, like, I want chocolate right now, and so, okay, I want to remove my desire for chocolate by eating some chocolate. That's just going to make me want to eat chocolate every day, like all the time. It's not like going to remove my desire for eating chocolate. It's just going to make me all the time want to have chocolate. Yeah. Until you get sick of it? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Chandrasekhar made the points. You can put out a fire by a big bucket of ghee, just completely. That's when you get materially exhausted, right? Isn't that the term used? Okay, only by Kevala Bhakti or Shuddha Bhakti can the jiva remove all desires for his own happiness. When such desires have been removed, the clean throne of his heart becomes a suitable resting place for Sri Bhagavan. This is why the devotee poet Śrīmad Das Thakur has said, Tomara hridaye sada Govinda Vishram. Sri Govinda always rests within the heart of his devotee. Endeavors for impersonal knowledge, nirvishesh gyan, yoga, and other such endeavors are just like jagged stones that pierce the body of Sri Hari instead of serving him. Although in the first stage of pursuing the impersonal conception of the Lord, nirvishesh Brahma, chanting the holy name is accepted in a subsidiary capacity. Still, in mukti, or in the condition which a person... Okay, wait, 1 second. Let me just reread that because I spaced out for a second. Although in the first stage of pursuing the impersonal conception of the Lord, chanting the holy name is accepted in a subsidiary capacity, still, in mukti, or the condition in which a person has the erroneous conception that he is Brahma, the absolute spirit, the supreme spirit, his independent existence is not accepted. For this reason, Bhagavan does not appear in the heart of such an unfortunate jiva who prides himself on being liberated. With the objective that Bhagavan should reside in the temple without difficulty, Sri Gaurasundar, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu, did not keep unwanted things such as grass, dust, or stones inside the temple compounds. Rather, he personally threw them out. It is often seen, even though the desire to perform karma, gyan, and other such endeavors remain distant from a living entity's heart, some very fine particles of dirt remain within. So they're very fine particles, which means they aren't so obvious, right? They're very difficult to detect. What are these? These fine particles of dirt? They are compared to duplicity, kutinati, the desire for reputation, pratishdasha, harmfulness to living entities, jiva hingsa, improper conduct, nishidachar, mundane profit, labha, adoration, puja, and so on. Okay, so now my Gurudev is going to break down all these fine particles of dirt. We're going to zoom into the dirt. That's what we're doing. We're zooming into the dirt to see it more close up, to understand it. Okay, kutinati. Kutinati means duplicity, kapatata. And it is exemplified in the behavior of the demoness Putana. Putana was the embodiment of kapatata. Externally, she was the very form of affection, but internally, she was similar to poison and the direct personification of death, of Kal. As long as kapatata remains in the heart of a spiritual practitioner, in the heart of a sadhak, he will not be able to enter the realm of Bhagavad Bhajan. Shri Krishna first slayed kapatata in the form of Putana. Now we come to pratishdasha. Let me just make sure everything's running okay. Oh, I'm looking at this comment too late, so I don't know what you're referring to, Rup Manjari Didi. Yeah, let me know what you mean by that. Okay, so now we come to Pratishdasha. By performing solitary bhajan, ignorant people will call me a great sadhu. They'll say I am a Mahatma. When this mundane desire to be known as a devotee or an incarnation prompts one with a rock heart, when this desire prompts one with a rock hard heart to feign ecstatic transformations and emotions for the purpose of receiving prestige, it is called pratishdasha. You know, sometimes what happens. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, okay. Sometimes I'll be in a kirtan or something, or there's a harikirtan. It's really beautiful, and I feel some kind of emotions coming. I really try to milk those emotions. But even just if you're feeling emotion in a kirtan or in harikirtan, that's not a sign that all of a sudden you are like a great soul feeling real bhav or anything like that. Because I feel emotion when I watch a movie also. When I watch a really sad movie. When I watched Hotel Rwanda, I cried so much while I watched that movie. That doesn't mean, just because you're able to feel emotion doesn't mean that you're feeling transcendental emotion, even if it's in relation to hearing harikatha or something. There's a very big difference between. So, but when we feel some emotion or something like that, then we think, oh wow, people are gonna think I'm really, I'm so great. For example, a Kanishta Bhakta may perform bhajan in a secluded place, imitating Srila Haridas Thakur. But since the condition of his heart is not replete with Krishna Prem like Haridas Thakur's, he again falls down. Some Western devotees once went to Puri. They were not allowed to take darshan of Sri Jagannātha Dev, Sri Baladev Prabhu, and Sri Subhadra Devi in the temple. But they were able to go to Tota Gopinath temple. They were able to go to Tota Gopinath temple, Srila Haridas Thakur's Samadhi, and Siddha Bakul. At Siddha Bakul, one of the devotees saw Srila Haridas Thakur's chanting beads. He saw Haridas Thakur's mala, so he gave the pujari $1,000 and said, "Give me that mala." The pujari, greedy for wealth, he stole the mala and gave it to that so-called devotee. Having received the mala, he began to think, by chanting on this very mala, I too will become a devotee like Srila Haridas Thakur, and everyone will offer me respect. But simply obtaining Srila Haridas Thakur's mala is insufficient. Only by performing Nam Bhajan at Srila Haridas Thakur's lotus feet, under his guidance, will the heart become purified. An unqualified endeavor only increases the probability of misfortune. We should not try to imitate. These are important terms. Try to memorize this. One is anukaran, which means imitation, and the other is following, anusaram. Okay, so we should not try to imitate anukaran, a devotee like Srila Haridas Thakur. Rather, we should sincerely follow him, anusaran. Even though both look the same often, but they're very different. Imitation and following are completely different things. No one becomes a pure devotee simply by obtaining the mala of a pure devotee by theft or deception. On the contrary, such endeavors cause offenses. Nowadays, many people keep a large mala weighing not less than 5 kilos, even though they cannot chant properly. They wear large tulsi neck beads that have Radhe Radhe written on them. All one will obtain by such practice is an increasing false ego. Okay, just checking the comments. Oh, cool. Rup Mandri once experienced this method of communication, of just communicating by chanting Hare Krishna, with the Chinese devotees in Govardhan. Ah, that's really sweet. That's the only way you can understand each other. That's one thing that you have, yeah. That's really nice. Haribo Rukmini Didi, pranams. 5 kilos, yeah. Yeah, Kishore, I have no idea about this. I haven't heard about this anywhere except for from this book. So yeah, I have no idea. I wonder if Mahārāja should know about that. I don't know. Okay, Jiva Hingsa. The general principle regarding non-violence, ahimsa, is to not kill any living entity. Hingsa, violence, does not only mean to commit murder with one's hands or a weapon. Rather, hingsa is to cause pain to another with one's tongue, mind, or heart. If you desire to make your heart pure and situate Bhagavan there, then you should never envy anyone, and you should always remain far from criticism of a Vaishnava, because this is also one kind of hingsa. I mean, what harms our heart more than hearing criticism of a Vaishnava? Superficially sweeping, mopping, or merely washing with water does not remove the dirty spots that have fallen on the temple of the heart. These spots and blemishes are observed in the form of offenses to the lotus feet of Vaishnavas and disobedience to Gurudev. Wow, even just by sweeping, mopping, washing with water, doing all that, that's not going to remove the stains. And like these spots, you need to get some really intense acid and like really get at it. So Vaishnava Aparad is not easily removed. You can't just purify yourself somehow or other. You need to do something different than you normally do when you clean. These spots and blemishes are observed in the form of offenses to the lotus feet of Vaishnavas and disobedience to Gurudev, Vaishnava Aparad and Guru Avagya. Among the 10 kinds of Nam Aparad, the first offense is to the feet of pure Vaishnavas. The sadhak aspiring to traverse? It should be traverse, right? What does transverse mean? I think that's a mistake. The sadhak aspiring to traverse the path of bhakti must quickly endeavor to gain exemption from these aparads. To teach this, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu personally cleaned and scrubbed the entire Guṇḍicā mandir, up and down, here and there, with his own cloth. He completely cleaned everything, not leaving a single spot anywhere. Nishiddhāchāra. We should try to understand what nishiddhāchāra, prohibited activities, are. For example, a brahmachari or sannyasi should stay far away from the desire for lust. Asatsanga tyaga Vaishnava achar, stri sangi eka asadhu, Krishna bhakta ar. This is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 2284. To give up bad association is the most appropriate conduct for Vaishnavas. A Vaishnav, so what are the two kinds of, one is a Vaishnav and the other is Stri Sangi. So first, a Vaishnav refers to those who associate inappropriately with women, Stri Sangi. And it also refers to those who are not devotees of Krishna. There are two kinds of association with women. The first is in accordance with the codes of religion as established by the principles of Varnashram. The second refers to the illicit association of women, which is against religious principles. The latter destroys Varnashram Dharma and takes one to the hellish planets. Generally, in the material world, persons addicted to committing sinful acts are not qualified to become Vaishnavas. The three objectives of religion, of dharma, of economic gain, of artha, and sense gratification, kam. These three objectives keep one bound to inappropriate association with women, which is conduct not befitting a Vaishnava. And it goes the other way around, of course. Whenever we hear these things, it refers, for women, it means men, obviously, but just mentioning. The fourth principle, moksha, liberation, does not arise out of illicit association with women, but it is much more fearsome than the association of women. The association of both Mayavadis, impersonalists who affirm everything to be illusion, and Maya Vilasis, those given to indulging in illusion, is the cause of the destruction of Vaishnavism and Shuddha Bhakti. And why is the association of Mayavadis much more harmful? Because if you associate with Maya Vilasis, then you'll get, you might go off the path, you might get really into enjoyments, and you might even destroy, make it a few more lifetimes longer. But if you associate with Mayavadis and you strive for liberation, it could be millions of lifetimes. So yeah, one's a lot worse. Srila Rupa Goswami has also described, okay, so now we've completed that, all those different categories that my Gurudev wanted to, those were all the fine dust particles, right? Now, Srila Rupa Goswami has also described these faults and anarthas in the first verse of his book, Sri Upadeshamrit. Let me just check the comments really quick. Okay, transverse is crossing at a positively slanted angle. Yep, so there's a big... we'll have to fix that. Okay. So Srila Rupa Goswami has also described these faults and anarthas in the first verse of his book, Upadeshamrita. Vacho vegam manasakrodha vegam jiva vegam udaropasta vegam etan vegan yovishaheta dhira sarvam apimam pritavim sashishyat. A self-composed person who can tolerate his impetus to speak, the agitation of the mind, the onset of anger, the vehemence of the tongue, the urge of the belly, and the agitation of the genitals. That person can instruct the entire world. That is, everyone becomes the disciples of such a person who has conquered his senses. The root of the 6 kinds of urges, of the 6 Vegas, is the tongue. This is the root. The tongue does not have a bone and can thus move in all directions. Spineless. If the tongue is not controlled, then the other 5 urges will control a person. And if the tongue is controlled, then all the other senses will be under control. I'm wondering, the tongue, anyways, okay. Like the tongue is the way that we communicate, but we also communicate by other ways other than the tongue. So is the tongue more just like symbolizing what we put out, like how we communicate to others to get what we want? I don't know. It's just thought. It's not just referring to the tongue has 2 functions: speaking and eating. An uncontrolled tongue could also refer to like typing an email that's completely uncontrolled, right? It doesn't just mean speaking something uncontrolled, but it's any kind of outward communication, I'm guessing. So there's two functions of the tongue: speaking and eating. The first function of the tongue is not if the first function of the tongue is not curbed when speaking, then there's great danger of engaging in useless talk by which fearsome problems can be born, even to the extent that one's entire life can be destroyed. I will clarify this topic by giving a couple of examples. Mahārāja Yudhishthira's royal palace was so amazing that in some places it was very difficult to discern the difference between water and dry ground. Once, Duryodhana fell into water thinking it to be dry ground. Draupadi laughed and said, "The son of a blind man is also blind." It was these words alone that caused the Mahabharata war, in which hundreds of thousands of people were killed. Wow, he really wanted to get revenge. Oof. Also, when Sri Ram left Sita in the care of Lakshman and went to catch the demon Maricha, who had taken the form of a deer, Maricha adopted Ram's voice and cried out to Lakshman. He cried out to Lakshman in such distress that it seems that he was in a frightful situation. Lakshman understood that this was a trick of Maricha, and although Sita Devi beseeched him many times to go and help Sri Ram, Lakshman would not enter the forest and leave Sita alone. Finally, Sita angrily said to him, "Lakshman, I know you want the destruction of Sri Ram now so that you can make me your wife. Out of your obstinacy, you are not going to save him, even after my repeated requests to you." It was solely due to her love for Sri Ram that Sita wanted Lakshman to go to the forest. But Lakshman, who Sita treated like her son, when Lakshman heard these bitter words from her, he unwillingly left her alone, resulting in her being kidnapped. In the end, for this very reason, war also ensued. Yeah, so we really have to be careful about. The other function of the tongue is to eat. Taking meat, fish, onion, garlic, and other such forbidden foodstuffs, as well as intoxicating substances, this increases the mode of ignorance. Thus, one is not able to control one's mind and heart. Through the uncontrolled mind, people become engrossed in sinful activities and destroy themselves. There is a very simple way to bring the tongue under control. After offering foodstuffs to the Lord, partake of the Mahaprasad and continuously chant the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And just the thoughts coming to mind right now is partaking of Mahaprasad doesn't just mean like there's a process for partaking Mahaprasad. So I don't think we actually get the full benefit of taking Mahaprasad if we're just eating it like, oh, I want to eat this, oh, this is good, and it's just purely like that. Just like with Harinam, when we chant Harinam, if we're just chanting not without any endeavor to do it properly with the right mood, and we're just like, and like reading, watching something and just totally distracted, then we're not getting the benefit. We're not actually chanting Harinam. So with Mahaprasad also, I think it's the same thing.
In Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Thakur's Anugriti to Upadeshamrita, he says that honoring, eating delicious foodstuffs in the name of honoring prasad still falls into the category of Vatuveg, of Jivaveg.
Oh, really? Wow, okay, that's very clearly mentioned then. Awesome.
It's also Srila Prabhupada also quotes it in Nectar of Instruction.
Okay, it's also a Nectar of Instruction. Great. Okay, so now we come to the second shloka of Upadeshamrita. Oh wait, let me just quickly see if there's any. Okay, no comments. And the second shloka of Sri Upadeshamrita, Srila Rupa Gosvāmī states, Atyahara prayashascha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangascha lolyam cha sharbir bhaktir vinashyati. Bhakti is destroyed by the 6 faults. 1. Over-collection and overeating. 2. Endeavors unfavorable to bhakti. 3. Useless chatter. 4. Enthusiasm for practices not befitting one's qualification and lack of enthusiasm to adopt essential regulations for spiritual progress. 5. Mundane association. And 6. Greed, or restlessness of the minds to adopt worthless opinions. Atyahara means to eat more than necessary or to collect mundane sense objects. Remaining engaged in collecting worldly sense objects and endeavoring for that which is against bhakti is prayas. Unnecessary, useless, time-wasting slander and gossip is called prajalpa. Not endeavoring for the topmost qualification, service to the Lord, and instead maintaining enthusiasm for the rules and regulations by which one procures insignificant attainments, such as entrance into the heavenly planets, while remaining indifferent to the rules that nourish bhakti, is niyamagraha. Leaving the association of pure devotees and associating with ordinary people is called jana sangha. Restlessness of the mind for trifling sense objects and unsteadiness of the mind due to associating with adherents of many other doctrines is the meaning of lolya. As long as these faults and anarthas remain in the heart of a human being, Sri Bhagavan will not situate himself there. Sri Nityananda Prabhu and his manifestation as Sri Gurudev can dispel these unwanted things and make the heart pure. They are competent at doing this, and they are also causelessly merciful. How lucky we are. But without our own endeavor, it will not be possible to take that mercy. They are fully merciful, their mercy is all there, but without our endeavor, we won't be able to take their mercy that they're trying to give us. It is up to us to take it. If we cannot even do that much, we can't just like take the thing that's being handed to us, then how will it come to pass? Sri Gurudev mercifully gives us such instructions that success is assured if we live our lives by them. For example, in the Bhagavad Gita, we see the example of Arjuna, who said to Krishna, Karpanya dosho bhata svabhava prichami tvam dharma samudacheta yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me shishasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. That's Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, verse 7. I have become overwhelmed by cowardice, having put aside my natural heroic nature, and having become bewildered about how to ascertain my true duty. I am thus requesting you to tell me clearly what is auspicious for me. Hearing Arjuna's sincere words, Shri Krishna mercifully gave him many instructions and removed all doubts from his mind. Shri Krishna then gave Arjuna the order to enter battle, by following which Arjuna became victorious. In exactly the same way, if a disciple is ready to follow the order of Guru, then Guru will always help the disciple. But if the disciple disobeys Guru or misuses his independent desire, it is an offense to Guru. As a consequence, the disciple's bhakti is destroyed and his desire to serve Shri Krishna vanishes. Okay, so now we're hearing the absolute necessity of Guru, of following the Guru's instruction. But what is a Guru? If we try to do this with a Guru that is completely bogus, we're not going to get the same results. They can't give us mercy. Although, I mean, I think if you have a bogus Guru but you're very sincere, it doesn't mean that you're like going down to hell or anything like that. Like there will be some benefit, and Krishna will take your sincerity and move you in an auspicious path, so that in the future you'll be able to get a bona fide Guru. But
I read a quote from Srila Gurudev saying that if someone worships even a piece of straw, but with faith that they're on a bona fide path, then Krishna will make all arrangements for them to progress.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. But but we're not going to get the benefit of actually doing all these things with a Sadguru. We'll be led to the right path. We're going to make sukriti so that we'll come in contact with the pure devotee. But we won't get the mercy, but it'll be some time until we're able to get the mercy. So let's hear what the characteristics of a bona fide Guru are now. The bona fide spiritual master, Sadguru, imparts teachings to the disciple through his own conduct. For example, while Śrīmad Mahaprabhu was cleaning Guṇḍicā Mandir, a young boy, a Gaudiya Bhakta, he filled a water pot, washed Mahaprabhu's feet, and drank the water. Mahaprabhu was furious and said, "What are you doing? Jagannātha is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, and he is just about to arrive here. We are cleaning this place in honor of his arrival. I am an ordinary person, and yet you have washed my feet and drunk the water? This is an offense to Sri Jagannātha. The outcome of this offense will be very bad for us both." Śrīmad Mahaprabhu then called Sri Swarup Damodar and said, "Prabhu, just see how your Gaudiya Bhakta behaves inside Thakurji's temple. He is shaming me. Have you not explained to him the convention to be observed by Shuddha Bhaktas? Please tell him that since Jagannātha is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, washing the feet of an ordinary person like me in his temple, and then taking the water as if it is the water that has washed the feet of the Lord, as if it is Charnamrita, this is an offense to Sri Jagannath Dev, Sri Baladev Prabhu, and Sri Subhadra Devi." With the aim of appeasing Śrīmad Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar slapped that young boy and took him outside. Although Sri Swarup Damodar was actually very happy with him, in order to establish the proper code of conduct, proper dharma, he showed support of the Lord's anger. When he was out of Mahaprabhu's view, however, he said to that devotee, "Śrīmad Mahaprabhu is Sri Jagannath Dev himself, but he wants to teach people in general that we should not behave like this with ordinary persons. You have not done anything wrong. Rather, you have performed the topmost activity. Wait right here. I will call you back in, and you can beg forgiveness from Śrīmad Mahaprabhu. When that Bengali devotee was called, he went to Śrīmad Mahaprabhu and said, O Prabhu, I have done wrong. Please be merciful and forgive me. Hearing his prayer, Mahaprabhu forgot everything and forgave him. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu performs this pastime only to teach us the principles of bhakti. If any person tells others to worship him, it is improper in every respect. In front of the deities, one should not be openly affectionate with others, nor should one weep or wail, or discipline or assault anyone. In front of the deities, one should not offer pranam to anyone other than a bona fide guru. When we're in front of Thakurji, we should always be aware that Thakurji's right, Bhagavan himself is right there, looking at us, watching us. And so we're being overly affectionate. Oh my God, it's been such a long time, and giving somebody a big hug and then talking like that, and like neglecting that Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord himself, is there standing watching us. That's very disrespectful. So we should maybe go to the side of the temple room, like out of view, and then be affectionate and like that. Or we shouldn't, hey, what are you doing? Blah blah blah. We should be we should be respectful. If our Gurudev was standing there, would we act like that in front of him? So, yeah. Okay, so where are we? Okay. In front of the deities, one should not offer pranam to anyone other than a bona fide guru. Yes, you are allowed to offer a pranam in front of a bona fide guru, a pure guru, in front of Thakurji. A bona fide guru never egotistically considers himself to be a guru or even an advanced devotee. He never hopes, may my disciple offer flowers at my feet. May he pour water on them and throw that water on others, and may he take that charnamrita. No. A pure guru or Vaishnava always remains far from such egoism. He naturally thinks of himself to be extremely low and fallen, and he continuously offers prayers to Bhagavan's feet. Absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radhika, who is topmost among all devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say, Na prema gandha, I have not the slightest tinge of love for Sri Krishna within my heart. That's from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 245. If someone asks, then why are you chanting while taking Sri Krishna's name? Why are you crying while taking Sri Krishna's name? If you don't have any love, then why would he be crying when you're chanting Krishna's name? That means you have love. Then Śrīmad Mahaprabhu, he would respond to that, saying, when you see me crying in separation, know that I am just falsely exhibiting my great fortune. In truth, although I am bereft of the darshan of the beautiful face of Krishna playing his flute, I continue to live my life like an insect without purpose. I have not even a cent of bhakti for Krishna. Even fish are superior to me, because if taken from water, they die at once. But although I have not had darshan of Krishna, I do not die. I am extremely wretched. If anyone wants to continuously chant japa and perform kirtan of Shri Krishna's name, if one wants to perform kirtan of Krishna's names, then he must certainly follow this instruction spoken by Śrīmad Mahaprabhu. Trinarapi shunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Third verse of Shikshashtaka. Only one who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who always gives respects to others, not desiring personal honor, only that person can very easily chant the holy name of Shri Hari without cessation. A person who is without the four qualities mentioned in this verse cannot truly chant the names of Shri Hari. Shri Hari's name is transcendental and divine, and therefore his name cannot be uttered with our material tongue, nor can we have darshan of the Lord with our material eyes. Atha Shri Krishna namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyai sevon mukhe hi jivadho swayam eva spuratyada. That's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-2-234. Krishna's name and so on cannot be so Krishna's name, his form, quality, pastimes, all these things cannot be perceived by one's material senses. On the stage of Sevon Mukh, That means when the desire to serve Krishna arises in one's heart, his name, form, qualities, pastimes, and so on manifest on the transcendental tongue, the eyes, and other senses of the devotee. Indeed, chanting the names of Krishna is service to him. There are 3 stages of chanting: Nam Aparad, Nama Abhas, and Shuddha Nam. When we chant with our tongue and by our own endeavor, without awareness of our relationship with Krishna, without any Sambandha Gyan, or without any faith, this is called Nam Aparad. When the name is chanted with some faith, but no Sambandha Gyan, it is called Nam Abhas. And when the name is chanted with full faith and full surrender, and is endowed with Sambandha Gyan, it is Shuddha Nam. If Shuddha Nam is uttered, Krishna himself will dance on the tongue. While chanting, we should pray to Krishna, I am offering myself onto your lotus feet, giving up all worldly desires. I have no beloved other than you. You are my everything. There may not be any taste for the holy name in the beginning stage, but this is not a matter for concern. Yet there definitely should be taste for listening to Harikatha, because by hearing Harikatha from the lips of pure devotees, a taste for chanting Harinam will certainly arise. And even if there is no taste for hearing Harikatha, it should be heard again and again, and the pure devotee speaking that katha should be offered proper respect. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha tajjoshanad ashvapavargavartmani shraddharatir bhaktir anukramishyati. That's Śrīmad Bhagavatam 3:25-25. Bhagavan Kapila Dev said to his mother Devahuti, in the association of saintly persons, my katha gives genuine knowledge of my valiant deeds, which are dearly pleasing to the heart and ear. The result of hearing this katha, which is released from ignorance, occurs very quickly. First of all, in the form of Shraddha. First Shraddha arises, faith in sadhan bhakti. Then Rati, that's bhav bhakti. And finally, the awakening of prem bhakti. But does that mean we can hear anything? Like we can just hear these Bhagavat Saptas done by performers, by these professional reciters, or just any person? No, let's see. The speaker should be satam, a pure devotee. Doesn't just mean that we just listen to anything, any stories of Krishna anywhere. We have to hear from somebody who is satam, a pure devotee. We should not, with our own intelligence, make the mistake of accepting an ordinary person or devotee to be a Mahabhagavat. In regard to discerning who is a Madhyam Adhikari and who is an Uttam Adhikari, we should only accept the opinion of a superior Vaishnava as correct. When, by practicing Shuddha Bhakti, we become Madhyam Adhikari, we will become capable of discerning this for ourselves. That's a very interesting point. Yeah, because we can't recognize, but if there's some person that we have faith in, like somebody that this person is a genuine Vaishnava, this person knows way more, like we genuinely have some faith in that person, then whoever that person is accepting, if that person's a Madhyam Adhikari, then we can know, okay, this devotee I honor is giving, offering his pranam to, like surrendering his life to, like taking shelter of. This must be, interesting. Anyways, I'm sorry I'm talking so much. When by practicing Shuddha Bhakti we become Madhyam Adhikari, we will be capable of discerning this for ourselves. If we do not give proper respect to a Mahabhagavat, and if we consider a Kanishta Vaishnava to be a Mahabhagavat, it will constitute an offense to the true Mahabhagavat. Yeah, because then we're saying that, oh yes, this we're bringing that Mahabhagavat down to the level of this Kanishta Adhikari, thinking that they're on the same level. The Uttam Bhagavat will keep his Swarup, his real nature, hidden. Although Srila Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj was an Uttam Bhagavat, he used to make a show of smoking ganja. He sometimes scattered dry fish bones around his hut so that people would think that he ate fish. His thought was, if those who are materially inclined remain far away from me, then I can one-pointedly chant Shri Krishna's name and remember him. Whatever a bona fide guru does is solely to please Sri Krishna, Guru, and Vaishnavas. A bona fide guru does not have any worldly desires. Following his footsteps, we too ought to consider that every single activity performed with our body, mind, words, heart, and mood should only be performed to please Sri Krishna. Yat koroshi, yat ashnashi, yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi konteya, tat kurushva mar arpanam. That's Bhagavad Gita 9:27. Shri Krishna said to Arjuna, O son of Kunti, whatever activity you undertake, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, offer to me. If we strictly follow this instruction of Bhagavan Shri Krishna in our life, then, after some time, every single activity we perform will be done out of love for Shri Krishna and his dear associate, Gurudev. In this way, our heart will slowly become purified, and Krishna Prem will manifest there. This, indeed, is the secret behind Guṇḍicā Mandir Marjan. Shri Guṇḍicā Mandir Marjan ki jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Swaparshaji Gaur Hari ki jai, Jai Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. All right. So that was our reading. Thanks for letting me go over time today. And Dita Mataji, she's asking about, thanks for pointing that out, Rukmini Didi. It's, yeah, prayas, definitely prayas, yes, not prayas. Sorry, that I will fix that, thank you. Wow, I need to make note of these two things. Okay, so Indira Mataji, what about giving pranams to Tulsi Maharani? I don't think it's a problem to offer pranams to Tulsi Maharani in front of Thakurji. I think what the problem is, like why we close the curtain at the end of Tulsi Parikrama before we offer pranams. I think the reason for that is because then we offer pranam to Vaishnavas, and we don't offer pranams to Vaishnavas in front of Thakurji. We only offer pranams to Guru and Tulsi Maharani. Like before we do Tulsi Parikrama, we offer pranams to Tulsi Devi, and then we walk around Thakurji, and we offer pranams in front of Thakurji like that. So yeah, definitely no problem offering pranam to Thakurji in front of to Tulsi in front of Thakurji. Yeah. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Rukmini Didi. Thank you for joining, and Satya Mataji and Raskali Didi. Hari Bol. Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Okay, I'll do Jaidwani and then I'll say something at the end. Jai Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudeva Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Vāmana Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prabhupada Parikar Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitya Lila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gaur Kishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannātha Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nugogoriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Pata Dasa Raghunatha Shar Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala, Gaura Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kun Shama Kun ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Guṇḍicā Mandir Marjan ki jai. Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Shri Jagannātha Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakraju ki jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Shri, what is it? Sundarachal, right? That's where Guṇḍicā is. Sundarachal ki jai. Nilachal and Sundarachal. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Par ki jai. Saparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Yes, Kishore Prabhu? Yes. If a Mahabhagavat Vaishnav comes and you are engaged in deity worship, you must stop Archan and serve the Vaishnav. That is very true. If it's a pure Vaishnav, yes. Yes. Hari Bo Rukmini Didi, Hari Krishna. So today is Guṇḍicā Mandir, Guṇḍicā Mandir Marjan, and we'll probably all be engaged in cleaning our temple rooms, our house, making everywhere pure and clean. But really the most important thing is what we've been reading in this chapter, purifying ourselves internally. Today is also a good day to make a promise, like I'm going to clean myself, but not... So we're going to cleanse ourselves, chant extra Harinam today, do extra Kirtan, read more Harikatha, and follow this process of cleansing. And but then once you clean, you don't want it to get dirty again. So we should try to maintain this cleaning practice every single day. And today we'll make an extra efforts to clean it, and then afterwards we'll make a endeavor to maintain the cleanliness inside our heart. So yeah, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read with you, to engage in this process of cleaning with all of you. And yeah, Jai Shri Radhe. Tomorrow is Jagannātha Ratha-yātrā. So I'll read about, I don't know what I'll read tomorrow. Maybe I'll read from this book, Jagannātha Ratha-yātrā by my Srila Gurudev. And then we'll continue on with our Śrīmad Bhagavatam reading. We only have a few more days left, and then we'll be finished with the book. And then if there's enough time, I want to read Golden Volcano of Divine Love by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shri Goswami Maharaj, which goes through a lot of the stories in Chaitanya Bhagavat, and then the next part of the book goes through Shikshashtakam. It's such a beautiful book, and I think this would be a nice way to enter into Chaitanya Bhagavat, a nice way to prepare ourselves to begin Chaitanya Bhagavat, but we'll see how we do on time. All right. Hari Bol, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.